So I figured I'd post a video on my controller settings for Gran Turismo 7 because a lot of people use different settings, and I figured I'd share mine, which is easier for people, I guess, starting to learn manual, because a lot of people still drive in auto, and I'm a firm believer that manual is way quicker than automatic, and these controller settings will help you out in the long run for ease of controllability, and you don't have to move your fingers as much to press on different buttons, for example. I'm going to show you the main bits first, and then I will show you whatever else you can change. So if you don't know how to get to this section, you go to the top here with the little Gran Turismo logo. You go to options and then R1 and then controller, and then actually we'll go over vibration settings. I have got vibration settings on, and I think I've got it on weak. Yeah, I've got it on 50% because it actually vibrates a lot and can sometimes get really annoying on your fingers. So I put it on weak, so at least there is some sort of strength there, but some feel rather than it just being like a loose trigger. So I put it on weak, and obviously some people might be able to hear it in the background of my microphone, like the rattling noise. That's my controller. So vibration I got on for player one. You only need to worry about P1, P2, and P3 if you've got other controllers, and P4. So I got oh, so I got a vibration function on. I got a vibration strength on 50. And then I got trigger effect acceleration on weak and braking on weak. And then I don't have PlayStation VR, so that doesn't really matter. And then the rest is for the other controllers if you're doing split screen. So then we'll go over to wireless controller P1. First, you want to figure out what steering and acceleration you want to do. So steering I've got on left stick, but you could use the directional buttons like old school PlayStation 1 style, which I do not recommend because it doesn't give you as much feel and you can't have smooth inputs because the button is literally just an on and off, whereas something like left stick or even the motion sensor function, you can actually have more control and more precise inputs on your steering. So definitely go with left stick, which I think 99% would be familiar with, or the 1% of people who are maniacs and use motion sensor function. You can use that as well. It does work, and I have seen people a lot faster than me using that. So I chose left stick. So left stick, I put steering, and then obviously you want to do pedal control as well. So you could use pedal control is something you want as progressive as well. So I'd obviously disregard the on-off buttons. You actually want some control over it, just like the steering. So you can actually have like 50% throttle, 25% throttle, and 100% throttle, and anything in between. So you can modulate it rather than just an on-off 100%, 0% button. So I'd recommend right stick, or in my case, I've got R2 and L2. So R2 is accelerator, L2 is brake. And you can use the right stick in the same way, but I recommend R2 and L2 as you've pretty much got your index finger and your middle finger, in my case, on those anyway. So I choose that. So we'll start off on the right. Actually, no, we'll start off with accelerator and brake, obviously in the yellow here. And then gear down, I've got L1, and gear up, I've got R1. It's because your finger's right there, you might as well use it. So I've got that set up like that. Obviously, option button is pause. Create button is the create controls for recording. Then you've got your multifunction display. So this is the up, down, left, right buttons. This is where you have your weather map, your fuel map, brake balance. The little menu that's usually in the bottom right here when you're racing, that's the controls. I've done that on the button. And And then left stick in, I've put flash high beams so I can flash people. Left stick is steering. And then the touchpad, I've got on pressing the left side's left indicator, middle button's hazard lights, right is right indicator. I think these for your touchpad and your buttons you can configure to anything you want. Um, I've done right stick for camera control so I can look around the car in a 360 just in case I need to see if someone's on the right of me or on the left of me or something. You could potentially use this as the multifunction display control as well. It might actually be easier to do that because you've got your thumb there rather than having to move your thumb off the stick, off your steering to you do this. But I'm just so used to this that I'm not going to bother changing it. But if you're new, if you want to learn something new, MFD control might actually be better on right stick, and then your left right buttons can be to look left and look right, and look backwards and look forwards. So going on to the buttons on the right here, obviously we've done the gear up and gear down. I've done pause menu. Triangle I've put as reverse. Circle I've put as handbrake because I'm just so used to that in other racing games with that as like for drifting or whatever, like in Need for Speed, The Crew and games like that. Circle for me has always been handbrake. Square I've put change view so you can go from like your interior view, bumper view, hood view, third person view. X I've put as nitrous overtake, so that's like your nitrous, the boost on the what are they called? The oh man, what are they called? The super formulas. The boost on the super formulas, DRS on like the McLaren and the Isle of Man Subaru and the new Porsche GT3 RS. And then right stick down, I've got horn. And then that's all my controls that I'd recommend for you to get comfortable with and go faster. Directional buttons are obviously optional. I think right stick you can change between camera control and MFD if that's what you choose. And then obviously it's whatever you want to configure. If you want to configure like your windscreen wipers, hazard lights and all that sort of stuff, you could do that with the buttons or in the touchpad. And that's it for now. I figured I'd just make this quick video just to explain to people how I've got my controller set up and how you could potentially logically see from my point of view how this setup can work for me and how it could potentially work for you. So obviously like, subscribe, make sure you click post notifications so you know when I upload. I'm trying to upload now every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, trying to get back to a normal schedule. So I will catch you on Friday.